My name is Ime Ekong. I work with the SAC in Nigeria. I'm also a Nigerian. And I was opportune to take part in the Milken IFC scholarship program. And with that, I also had the opportunity to intern with the GBBC. The Milken program seeks to get people from countries such as mine to train us to create a relationship with several different countries and to train individuals who will be able to get training on policies, on current trends in their different fields in the world, and then technical training also in terms of the coursework, and then take this what has been learned through the coursework, the policy lectures we receive, the lectures on policies rather, and also the internship, all of the experiences we take back home to help our countries and our different where we work. Like I work with the SEC, I'm taking back the what I've learned here to go back and contribute to policy making back home. Now with the GBBC, it's been an interesting ride because there's been so much learned, so many new things learned, and there's a lot to go back and do back home. I'd been monitoring the, I wasn't not necessarily blockchain, but the fintech space, because we had a lot of, where as regulators, we had a lot of companies coming up to us and, and telling us what they wanted to do with how to apply technology to the capital market, from robo-advisors, investment robo-advisors and things like that. So that kind of sparked my interest then, because I used to look at some of the documents and I realized the potential then, what fintech could do to move our markets forward, the transparency and all that. And from there on, I now learned, the use of blockchain. That was where the interest started from. And then from there, I moved on to understand blockchain. And then when I came for the course, it was a given that I just really wanted to go to know more and gain more knowledge. So I decided to just to continue on that line, to gain more knowledge on blockchain and fintech, to help with our regulation back home. That was how it started. It's been interesting. It's like I've said this before, it didn't look like work. It was more like learning process. Because in the process of doing the work I was given, I learned so much, even beyond what I was asked to do. It was like everything was like an adventure. Like I would deliver on what I'm supposed to do, but in the process, it's like what I'm asked to deliver on is like maybe 40% of what I've gathered. So it was really interesting. I think for me, it was an education. It wasn't really work. I contributed the little I could, but I think I gained the more from the experience. I think when it comes, the GSMI would help with standard setting, because if every industry could look at it as it relates to them, it would help to educate people on what other industries related in what other companies or entities in that field are doing. It would also help to it helps with setting standards to know like the rules, the regulations. Like you could easily actually go to GSMI and have a feel of what other countries are doing, or what international bodies are saying, or what guidance is. It helps you to know what to do as an entity that intends to use blockchain or is using blockchain. And it kind of like, you know what the bar is. And so for you as an entity, you need to be able to apply those things to move further. And then also to be able to, you look at, it also highlights what the problems are, like interoperability and other things. So you know what to do to overcome these problems. Like if international bodies and entities, private entities use the GSMI, I think it helps to know what to do to solve the problems that the industry is facing right now and how to move on from here, to make laws, to in terms of development, what could be done better to improve the blockchain industry. I think that's what GSMI will do. For me, I found NFTs quite interesting, but as it relates to my work right now, because for me, it's all about using it to solve problems. I think it would help me with regulation, because it would, the transparency and the trust that it creates would enhance our regulatory processes, particularly in the financial sector where it would really open things up and it would create more transparency. So applying blockchain to our processes will also reduce risk, because if things are open and you know what is happening, like because the financial markets, the capital market in particular, runs on disclosure and transparency. I think applying blockchain technology to it would greatly improve this and also reduce risk. For me, I'm looking at it in terms of my work when I go back home. It will be very useful. Number one, it's the people. The GBPC team is a great team, very warm, and at the same time, very professional. That was number one for me in terms of experience. Apart from the learning aspect, was the people that, from the CEO, everybody was so warm and very professional. Then the work itself was interesting. And then when we went for the UNGA, getting to meet the industry players was also interesting, and networking with some of them was quite interesting. And it was also a very informative meeting we had there. I learned a lot. So those have been the highlights of my experience with the GBBC.